Your Land Rover is one warning light away from a 5-figure bill. Not a rumor, a documented case. One owner's timing chain let go at 65,000 miles and the invoice hit $39,000. 10 specialists gave me the countdown that prevents it. Secret number 3 is the one your dealer will never say out loud. Number 10. Replace your air suspension before it replaces your bank account. The system that lets a Range Rover float over broken pavement typically holds up for 50 to 70,000 miles, or 6 to 10 years before it needs attention, and cold climates with heavy road salt shorten that window further. Wait past it, and RepairPal's own repair data puts a single air compressor replacement at $2,086 to $2,172 on a Range Rover Sport, with older Discovery models running $1,865 to $2,002 for the same job. Let the entire system fail and the bill climbs past $4,000. Here's what almost nobody catches in time. On L405 and L494 chassis, a grounding point behind the front passenger fender corrodes and throws false suspension fault codes that look identical to total system failure. That warning light means one of two things: a ground wire that costs almost nothing to clean, or a technician who quoted you a new compressor without checking first. The float you paid extra for is the exact system that empties your wallet if you ignore its clock. Number 9 follows straight from that same electrical weakness. Number 9. Corrosion doesn't stay in the suspension, it spreads through the whole electrical harness. That same grounding point failure has been documented, causing phantom suspension warnings, false start faults, and dash messages that send owners straight to a dealership, quoting thousands before anyone tests a single wire. Moisture ingress makes it worse every winter, and the fix is rarely the expensive part that gets quoted first. Independent specialists check grounding points before anything else specifically because they are cheap to fix and expensive to misdiagnose. A 15-minute inspection can save you a 4-figure invoice for a part that was never actually broken. This is the difference between an owner who gets quoted and an owner who gets informed. Ask for the ground test before you approve any suspension module replacement every single time. Number 8 is a different kind of neglect entirely. Number 8. Chase the short trips before they chase your engine. Land Rover's diesel ingenium engines need sustained highway heat to burn off the particulate filter properly. Nothing but school runs and grocery store loops, and unburned fuel washes straight into your oil instead of burning off the way it should. That diluted oil is exactly what starves the timing chain tensioner, the same failure behind secret number 3. One uninterrupted highway run every couple of weeks, 20 minutes minimum, is the entire fix, and it costs you nothing but time. Owners who skip this aren't reckless, they're just uninformed, and uninformed is what turns a free habit into a 5-figure repair down the line. The owner who tracks this detail is the same owner whose Land Rover is still running long after the badge stops impressing anyone at all. Number 7 decides whether that engine survives. Number 7. Ignore the factory oil change interval completely. Land Rover schedules the 2-liter ingenium engine for oil changes as far out as 21,000 miles, using a specification labeled STJLR.03.5007. Independent specialists who rebuild these engines for a living recommend 7,500 to 10,000 miles instead, especially on models built before 2020. The reasoning is chemistry, not opinion. Diluted, thinned oil cannot keep the timing chain tensioner pressurized, and a chain that loses tension starts stretching against its guides. Catch the cold start rattle early, and a full chain, guide, and tensioner replacement runs $2,500 to $3,500 at an independent specialist. Miss it, and you are financing a replacement engine instead of a service. Number 6 hands you free repairs nobody mentioned. Number 6, check for recalls before you pay for anything out of your own pocket. 2014 through 2017. Range Rover and Range Rover Sport models were recalled for a front suspension knuckle that can crack and cause a loss of steering control. NHTSA campaign 25V514. More recent Range Rover Sport, and Discovery Sport models were recalled separately for moisture entering the gear shift module. And another campaign covers a panoramic sunroof trim that can detach at speed. The 2022 Range Rover Sport alone carried 7 separate NHTSA TSA recalls. None of these repairs cost you anything if you catch them in time. Go to NHTSA.gov, enter your VIN, and check twice a year without fail. A 5-minute search has saved owners thousands in repairs they were about to pay for out of their own pocket. Number 5 is where the supplier disagrees. Number 5. Land Rover calls the ZF 8-speed transmission filled for life, and some model schedules push that claim as far as 105,000 miles. ZF, the company that actually builds it, recommends a fluid change every 50,000 to 75,000 miles instead. That is not a minor disagreement. It is the manufacturer and the supplier contradicting each other in writing, and the fluid costs roughly $250 to change yourself compared to a transmission that starts shuddering and whining at high mileage. The same logic applies to your transfer case and rear differential fluid, both quietly excluded from most owners' maintenance checklist entirely. Following the marketing claim over the engineering spec is how a genuinely reliable transmission becomes a 5-figure problem later. Number 4 tells you what you signed up for. Number 4, know your real numbers before you argue with your mechanic about cost. RepairPal ranks Land Rover 31st out of 32 car brands for reliability, with an average annual repair cost of $1,174 and a 16% chance any given repair qualifies as severe. The Range Rover specifically averages $1,258 a year with a 19% severe repair rate. J.D. Power ranks the brand 5th from the bottom in its dependability study, and What Car places it 27th out of 31 manufacturers. This is not an insult, it is a budget line. Extended coverage that would be a waste of money on a Toyota is a rational bet on a car with these exact documented numbers because the math says you will use it. Number 3 is the one I promised you. Number 3, ignoring the timing chain rattle is the most expensive mistake in Land Rover ownership, and most owners never hear it stated this directly. The chain sits at the rear of the engine against the gearbox, which is why the labor bill escalates so fast once it fails. A cold start rattle on the 2-liter Ingenium engine means the chain has already stretched and the tensioner can no longer hold it. One CPO Range Rover Sport owner reported exactly this failure at 65,000 miles, and after the dealer disputed the claim for 6 months, the replacement engine invoice landed at $39,000. Caught early, the identical repair cost $2,500 to $3,500. But what happens when you wait for the check engine light instead of the rattle? You wait for the $10,000 version of the exact same problem. Number 2 is the tool that catches it first. Number 2, own a scanner built for this brand specifically, not a generic code reader. Generic tools miss the camshaft and crankshaft correlation codes, P0016 through P0019. That flag a stretching timing chain weeks before you hear anything at all. A Foxwell NT510 Elite built specifically for Land Rover and Jaguar runs about $170 to $200 and reads exactly these codes, along with bi-directional tests on your suspension, transmission, and airbag modules. That is one oil change's worth of money to catch a problem before it becomes a rattle, let alone an invoice. The owner who plugs this in every few months is diagnosing his own car before the dashboard ever gets the chance to say a word. Number 1 makes every other secret actually work. Number 1, stop thinking like a dealership customer and start thinking like an independent specialist. Find a shop that only works on Jaguar and Land Rover vehicles, not a generic import garage down the street. Follow the supplier's maintenance intervals, not the factory's marketing timeline. Use fluids that meet Land Rover's actual specification, not whatever synthetic happens to be on sale that week. Document every service with dates, mileage, and part numbers, the same way certified pre-owned inspectors document their own 165-point checklist, because a documented history is what gets a warranty claim approved instead of denied outright. Owners who adopt this mindset report far fewer surprise repairs than owners who simply wait for something to break on its own. The car was engineered to survive brutal terrain. Whether it survives your ownership is entirely up to you.